Gentlemen, picture this. You pour your morning latte. Take that first delicious sip, and unbeknownst to you, you're actually giving your testosterone a one-way ticket to decaf town. Yep, that unsuspecting cup of wake me up could be the silent saboteur keeping your mojo stuck in neutral. After 50, our testosterone levels are already on a slow descent, kind of like a glider gently easing toward the ground, and we don't need any extra push. What if I told you that some of the most innocent-looking foods in your pantry are quietly waging war on your manhood? We're talking everyday staples, things you might grab without a second thought that contain hidden compounds, turning your hormonal powerhouse into a whisper of its former self. You might be shocked to learn that processed soy products, fried comfort foods, sugary treats, and even that healthy flaxseed sprinkle are lining up to push your T levels off the cliff. Imagine your testosterone as the engine in a high-performance car. You wouldn't fuel it with water, diesel, or soda, yet here you are, filling up with ingredients that choke performance instead of revving you into high gear. Somewhere between that afternoon soda and your late-night mint tea, your body is sending distress signals, diminished drive, creeping fatigue, and a mood that resembles Monday morning at the DMV. But don't reach for the panic button just yet. Over the next few minutes, we'll expose 6 everyday culprits lurking in your diet, each one armed with its own secret weapon to weaken testosterone after 50. We'll even unveil a surprising twist and underdog offender that health fanatics love, but your hormones loathe. And stick around because we'll share the one simple boost you need to shift gears back into full power. So lean in, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your grocery cart the same way again, and your engine will thank you for it. Let's dive into the hidden world of foods that kill testosterone after 50, and what's really happening behind the scenes. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Henry Carter, your friendly neighborhood men's health specialist. Think of me as the guy who tells you which foods to ditch without turning your kitchen into a battleground. Today, we're on a mission to stop your testosterone from slipping through the cracks after 50 and reclaim that energy, drive, and confidence you deserve. Now, we all know life after 50 comes with its own set of challenges, aches here, creaks there, and don't even get me started on that extra pause in the bedroom routine. But a big piece of the puzzle is our hormones, especially testosterone. This powerhouse hormone isn't just about muscle mass or morning wood. It plays a starring role in our mood, metabolism, bone density, and overall vitality. When T levels dip, you might notice the couch starts looking more enticing than the gym. Your get up and go becomes more like a gentle shuffle. And well, let's just say performance in the bedroom can suffer. Here's the kicker: while aging naturally nudges testosterone downward, certain foods can give it an extra shove sometimes without you even realizing. You might be pouring that soy latte thinking you're making a health upgrade, or grabbing leftover fries as a cheeky snack, all the while telling your hormones, hey, see you later. But don't worry, that's why we're here. In this video, we're going to expose 6 everyday dietary culprits that stealthily suppress testosterone after 50. Share a surprising offender you'd never suspect. Yes, even your so-called health foods aren't safe. Reveal a simple science-backed strategy to push your hormone levels back up where they belong. No jumping jacks, no crash diets, and no soul-crushing meal plans. Just clear, actionable insights so you can make smarter choices without turning your life upside down. I've worked with hundreds of men who walked in feeling drained and frustrated, only to walk out energized, focused, and ready to tackle life head-on. Whether you're dealing with midday brain fog, stubborn belly fat, or that sinking feeling that your best days are behind you, understanding how food impacts your hormones is the first step to taking control. So grab a pen, maybe pause that documentary for a moment, and let's map out the foods you need to watch out for and how to keep your testosterone cruising at peak performance. Ready to overhaul your diet and breathe new life into your engine? Let's jump into our first culprit, the soy saga, processed soy product. Pitfalls. Let's start with a classic soy. Now, I'm not here to declare war on every tofu, stir-fry, or miso soup in existence. Fermented soy can be a fine culinary sidekick. But when it comes to processed soy products, we're wading into murky hormonal waters. Processed soy foods like soy milk, veggie burgers, soy-based chicken nuggets, and even those protein powders with soy isolate can deliver a serious dose of phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in your body. Picture phytoestrogens as the overzealous understudies trying to slip onto the stage and deliver lines intended for the leading hormone testosterone. They bind to hormone receptors, create confusion, and ultimately dilute the power of your natural T production. Imagine your body as a high-security concert venue. Testosterone VIPs have the best backstage passes, security clearance, and a prime spot on the guest list. Phytoestrogens. They're the imposters trying to sneak in with forged passes, elbowing your VIPs aside and hogging the spotlight. By the time your legitimate testosterone molecules get back in the door, the show's already half over. Clinical studies reveal that men consuming high amounts of processed soy can experience measurable drops in serum testosterone levels. In one trial, participants sipping soy protein shakes daily saw a decline in free testosterone by as much as 10 to 15% over just a few weeks. That may not sound catastrophic, but consider that after 50, many men are already seeing declines of roughly 1 to 2% per year, so adding another 10% drop is like accelerating the clock by half a decade in just a month. Here's a little anecdote from my practice. I had a patient, let's call him Mark, who was religious about his post-workout protein shake. He'd swapped whey for a healthier soy isolate blend because he'd read it was vegan-friendly. 3 months later, he reported feeling sluggish, his strength gains plateaued, and he even noticed a shift in his mood, less drive, more fatigue. A simple blood panel confirmed his total testosterone had dipped by nearly 12%. We dug into his diet, and sure enough, that daily soy shake was the prime suspect. Now, I'm not saying you have to purge every soy product from your pantry. Fermented forms like tempeh and miso behave differently with lower phytoestrogen activity and added probiotic perks. But when it comes to heavily processed soy goods, packed with isolated proteins, the quantity and concentration of phytoestrogens can be enough to tip the balance. What makes processed soy particularly stealthy is its presence in unexpected places: store-bought healthy snack bars, imitation deli slices, even some vegan cheeses and yogurts. If the ingredient list reads soy protein, isolate, or hydrolyzed soy protein, consider it a red flag for potential hormonal interference. On a molecular level, phytoestrogens compete with testosterone at the androgen receptors, and some studies suggest they might even inhibit key enzymes involved in testosterone synthesis, like 17-V-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase. In layman's terms, they don't just gate crash the party, they sabotage the production line. Your body's endocrine orchestra relies on precise signals, luteinizing hormone cues, the testes to produce testosterone, and testosterone exerts its effects on muscle, bone, and brain through receptor binding. Introducing a phytoestrogen influx is like adding 1,000 off-key violinists to the symphony. They drown out the melody, derail the rhythm, and leave you with a discordant performance. So next time you see that sleek carton of soy milk or the neon-packaged veggie hot dog, remember what's really inside a concentrated cocktail of estrogen mimics that can chip away at your testosterone reserves, especially when consumed daily. Your hormonal harmony depends on clear signaling, and processed soy is the static on the line. But we're just getting started. As we move on, keep in mind that this is one example of how innocent-looking foods can carry hidden hormonal baggage. Up next, those greasy fried favorites that aren't just bad for your heart, they're sneaky saboteurs of your manhood's main hormone. Stay tuned, the trans fat trap fried foods that fumble your hormones. All right, let's talk about that siren song of crispy golden deep-fried goodness, French fries, chicken wings, donuts, and all their greasy cousins. There's nothing quite like the crunch of a perfectly fried snack, but behind that satisfying snap lurks a hormone hijacking villain: trans fats. Trans fats aren't just traumatic for your arteries. They're notorious for trampling on testosterone production. These artificially created fats sneak into our diets via partially hydrogenated oils found in fried fast food packaged pastries, margarine, and even certain microwave popcorns. During the hydrogenation process, liquid vegetable oils are transformed into solids to improve shelf life and texture, but at the expense of your endocrine health. Imagine your body's hormone factory as a pristine assembly line. Each step is calibrated for efficiency, producing molecules of testosterone that power everything from your muscle strength to your libido. Now picture greased up gears. That's what trans fats do. They integrate into cell membranes, stiffening the lipid bilayer and disrupting receptor sensitivity. The result, hormone signals get muffled production stalls, and your testosterone output takes a nosedive. Clinical data paints a concerning picture. In one study, men whose diets included high levels of trans fats showed significantly lower total testosterone compared to those consuming healthier fats like olive oil or nuts. On average, the trans fat group had T levels 15% lower, comparable to aging 5 to 10 years overnight. Combine that with the usual annual decline after 50, and you're fast-tracking toward hormonal midlife crisis. Let's set the scene. Picture Jim, a self-proclaimed wing warrior who hit the local sports bar every Thursday for a platter of buffalo wings and curly fries. After a few months, he noticed he was struggling to lift the same weights at the gym, felt a bit more irritable, and let's be real, his bedroom performance wasn't exactly MVP-worthy. A quick panel revealed his free testosterone had sunk by 8%. We traced it back to his weekly fried feast. Beyond structural interference with receptors, trans fats also increase systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation stimulates cortisol, the stress hormone, which further suppresses testosterone synthesis via the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. It's a 1-2 punch. Trans fats both directly gum up hormone signaling and indirectly throttle production by ramping up stress hormones. Here's the irony: many of these fried favorites are marketed as crispy, buttery, or premium flavor, giving the illusion of indulgence without cost. But the real price is paid inside your body. Every bite of trans fat-laden food is like tipping the scales against your testosterone, tipping you toward fatigue, brain fog, and that all too familiar ugh feeling in the morning. If you've built your snack game around convenience foods, fast food chains, frozen dinners, packaged cakes, chances are you're unknowingly inviting a hormone slump. And unlike sugar or soy, trans fats don't always come with obvious taste cues. They're engineered to be palatable and shelf-stable, making them stealthy saboteurs. The good news: awareness is the first step. Scan labels for partially hydrogenated oils and give them the cold shoulder. Your body will thank you, and so will your testosterone. Next, we'll tackle the sweetest culprit of all, sugar shock, and its insidious role in suppressing the T you work so hard to maintain. Stay with me. Sugar shock, sweet drinks that suppress. Gentlemen, it's time to address one of the most insidious saboteurs hiding in plain sight: sugar. We're not just talking about the spoonful you stir into your coffee, but the avalanche of added sugars lurking in sodas, sports drinks, fruit enhancers, and even some so-called health beverages. When it comes to testosterone, these sweet sirens are anything but innocent. Picture your bloodstream as a racetrack. When you slam back a soda or a sugar-laden energy drink, you instantly launch a high-octane glucose spike, your body's equivalent of flooring the gas pedal. Insulin rushes to shuttle that sugar into cells, and blood glucose plummets just as fast. On the surface, it feels like a quick jolt of energy, but behind the scenes, your hormonal pit crew is in chaos. Excessive insulin drives up cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol and testosterone have a notorious rivalry. When cortisol levels climb, testosterone production takes a nosedive. Your hypothalamus and pituitary gland become so preoccupied with managing the sugar fallout that they dial down the signals telling your testes to crank out T. Over time, those repeated insulin surges and cortisol spikes add up to chronically suppressed testosterone. But there's more. High fructose corn syrup, the sweetener of choice in many soft drinks and fruity concoctions, interferes with liver function, leading to insulin resistance and metabolic strain. The more resistant your body becomes, the less effective insulin is at shuttling sugar away, so your pancreas pumps out even more. It's a vicious cycle, and every twist of the cap pulls you further from hormonal balance. Let's bring in the data. A study of middle-aged men found that those consuming more than one sugar-sweetened beverage per day had free testosterone levels up to 12% lower than men who limited their intake. Imagine gifting away over a tenth of your hormone factory's output just by sipping morning to evening on a refreshing soda. There's a twist in the tale, though. Even natural fruit juices can deliver a sugar wallop rivaling colas. Orange juice, grape juice, in those exotic blends may boast vitamins, but they also pack between 20 and 30 grams of sugar per glass. When you guzzle these, your body doesn't differentiate between fruit sugar and high fructose corn syrup. It's all fuel for the same insulin frenzy. Here's a scene I've seen play out dozens of times. A patient, let's call him Rob, starts his day with a giant smoothie packed with bananas, berries, and a spoonful of agave syrup because it's healthy. By midday, he's wrestling a sugar crash, so he downs a sports drink to re-energize. By dinner, he's sipping fruit punch to unwind. 3 drinks a day, hundreds of grams of sugar, and his testosterone is taking an early retirement. His mood dips, his waistline expands, and he can't figure out why his gym efforts aren't sticking. On a molecular level, sugar triggers advanced glycation end products, AGEs, that damage proteins and receptors, including those involved in hormone signaling. AGEs contribute to inflammation, further ramping up cortisol and cutting into your T reserves. It's like gradually eroding the foundations of a building. You don't notice the cracks at first, but over time, the structure weakens. What's especially sneaky is how normalized sugar consumption has become. We're bombarded with ads for electrolyte blends, vitamin-infused waters, and all-natural fruit teas. But if you turn the bottle around, you'll often find sugar content rivaling or exceeding that of soda. Labels like low-fat or gluten-free distract you while grams of sugar sneak off to potently sabotage your hormones. So before you reach for that brightly colored can or bottle, remember every gram of added sugar nudges your body further into hormonal disarray. The temporary buzz comes with a steep price tag, a cortisol-fueled downturn in the testosterone you need to power your workouts, drive, and vitality. Stay tuned because next we'll deep dive into another everyday indulgence, alcohol. It may loosen you up socially, but when it comes to testosterone, it's a glass half empty. Let's pour into the facts. Booze Blues, alcohol's hidden hormone. Hijack A, alcohol's celebrated companion of weekend warriors and social butterflies alike. A cold beer after work, a glass of wine with dinner, that celebratory toast. It all feels so indulgent. But here's the punchline: every sip of booze is also a stealthy strike against your testosterone. Let's start with the basics. When you drink alcohol, your liver prioritizes breaking down ethanol over its usual duties like hormone metabolism. As a result, toxic byproducts accumulate, and your liver's capacity to clear excess estrogen goes down. Suddenly, your body's balance tilts in favor of the feminizing hormones, leaving testosterone out in the cold. But it doesn't end there. Alcohol also disrupts the luteinizing hormone, LH, signals from your brain's pituitary gland. Remember LH, it's the chemical messenger that tells your testes to crank out testosterone. Flood your system with alcohol repeatedly, and LH production falters, like sending faint, garbled instructions to the factory floor. Production slows and your T levels drop accordingly. Imagine you're at a party. You stroll up to the bar, order your usual pint, and flash a grin to the bartender. You think you're unwinding. Meanwhile, inside your body, your hormonal employee of the month is being clocked out early. That cheers you just made is a subtle goodbye wave to peak testosterone production. Research backs this up. In one study of middle-aged men, moderate to heavy alcohol intake correlated with a striking 12 to 20% decrease in circulating testosterone. That heavy weekend session, it could wipe out nearly a fifth of your hormone reserves, essentially setting back months of natural decline, age-wise, in just a few nights. Here's a real-world scenario I've seen all too often, Carl. A high-powered executive prides himself on his wine collection. He savors a few glasses each evening to relax. After a few months, he notices his workouts feel lackluster, sleep quality tanks, and his mood wavers between apathetic and irritable. A simple blood panel shows his free testosterone has plunged by 15%. King Cabernet had become Lord Liquid Lunch, and Carl's tea was paying the price. Then there's beer, specifically hops, those fragrant cones that add bitterness to your brew. They're packed with phytoestrogens, those same estrogenic compounds we discussed in the soy section. Hops-derived phytoestrogens can bind to estrogen receptors in your body, further skewing your hormonal ratio away from testosterone. So that frothy pint isn't just empty calories, it's delivering an estrogenic payload your manhood doesn't need. On top of all this, alcohol elevates cortisol, our stress hormone, another direct antagonist to testosterone production. High cortisol levels signal your body that it needs to prioritize survival over reproduction. The messaging is clear. Store energy, inhibit non-essential functions, and testosterone synthesis gets sidelined. With cortisol and estrogen rising and LH signals dropping, Testosterone is effectively benched. Let's not forget the quality of life consequences: decreased muscle mass, increased belly fat, sagging, mood, low motivation, and yes, those dreaded performance issues when the lights go out. It's the perfect storm of hormonal sabotage, all courtesy of your favorite happy hour ritual. But before you swear off celebrations for good, remember, this is about balance. A single glass of wine here and there won't permanently cripple your hormones, but habitual overindulgence certainly will. It's the pattern of drinking daily or binge sessions on the weekend that really pushes testosterone into the gutter. So next time you raise your glass, think of the invisible scales inside you tipping against your testosterone. Every pint, every nightcap, every round of shots is a choice. Momentary relaxation now or sustained vitality later. Coming up, we'll tackle another unsuspecting foe, flaxseed overkill. Yes, that superfood you sprinkle on everything can in excess mimic estrogen and undermine your tea. Stay with me, more eye-openers ahead. Flaxseed overkill. The omega-3 overreaction. You've heard it 1,000 times. Flaxseed is nature's omega-3 powerhouse. And yes, in moderation, ground flax offers heart-healthy fats and fiber. But here's the plot twist: go overboard, and those very lignins that make flaxseed a superfood can start acting like estrogen imposters, nudging your testosterone off course. Picture this: you wake up, sprinkle a tablespoon of flax over your oatmeal, toss another into your smoothie, and don't stop until you've got seeds on your salad yogurt and even mixed into your coffee creamer. Before you know it, you're consuming ounces of flax per day, far beyond the handful that's actually beneficial. Ground flaxseed contains lignins, plant compounds with a knack for mimicking estrogen's effects in the body. When you ingest high levels of these lignins, they bind to estrogen receptors, potentially doubling down on that estrogen signal and crowding out your testosterone. It's like hosting a party where the estrogenic guests refuse to leave, hogging the stereo and pushing the testosterone crew out onto the curb. Research shows that men consuming more than 20 grams of ground flax daily can experience measurable shifts in their hormone profiles, decreased free testosterone, increased sex hormone binding globulin, SHBG, and a higher estrogen to testosterone ratio. One study had participants add just 3 tablespoons, about 30 grams of flaxseed, to their diets each day, and within weeks, free testosterone levels dipped by nearly 10%. Here's a quick anecdote. I was consulting with Sam, a 55-year-old health nut who tracked every macronutrient in an app. He proudly reported gobbling flax by the spoonful, 6 tablespoons each morning, because the internet said more omega-3s equal better health. But he also complained of fatigue, brain fog, and discouraging gym sessions. His blood work revealed suppressed free T and unexpectedly high SHBG. We dialed back his flax habit, and within a month, he felt his usual energy return. At the cellular level, excess lignins can inhibit enzymes like aromatase and 5A reductase in unpredictable ways, sometimes reducing estrogen locally, but increasing circulating estrogen overall. The net effect: hormonal confusion and less available testosterone to fuel your muscles, mood, and manhood. But it's not just about lignins. Loading up on any single superfood can skew your diet's balance. If you're ping-ponging between flax, chia, hemp, and fish oil supplements without a plan, you risk creating nutritional blind spots, over-consuming one compound while missing out on others that support hormone health like zinc, vitamin D, and saturated fats. The real takeaway is this: variety and moderation are essential. While flaxseed delivers valuable fiber and ALA-type omega-3s, tipping the scales too far can turn a health hack into a hormonal hiccup. Your body needs a mix of fats, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, and yes, even some saturated, to keep testosterone synthesis humming. So the next time you eye that giant flaxseed canister at the health food store, remember, even the best intentions can backfire when you overdo it. Your hormones thrive on balance, not extremes, and that goes for every superfood you champion. Coming up in Section 8, we'll chew on another everyday indulgence, mint madness, and reveal how your fresh-feeling mint tea and spearmint gum might be quietly cutting into your testosterone reserves. Stay tuned. Mint madness: when fresh turns foul. Here's a scenario: you're driving to work, jaw feeling a bit parched, so you reach for that spearmint gum or steep a cup of peppermint tea to freshen up. Feels invigorating, right? But believe it or not, your minty escape might be sneakily dialing down your testosterone. Mint contains menthol and other compounds that in lab studies have been shown to interfere with testosterone synthesis when consumed in high doses. Think of it like inviting a guest who seems charming at first, but then crashes on your couch, eats all your snacks, and refuses to leave. Over time, that guest begins to overstay their welcome, and your testosterone production is the one left picking up the crumbs. In research experiments, male rats given concentrated peppermint or spearmint extracts exhibited significant drops in serum testosterone, up to 30% in some trials. While human bodies aren't rodents, these findings raise a red flag. Indulge too heavily in mint's cool embrace, and you could be sending mixed signals to your hormone factory. The mechanism menthol appears to reduce the activity of 17-V-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, an enzyme critical for converting androstenedione into active testosterone. Simultaneously, mint can upregulate aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. It's a 1-2 punch: less production and more conversion away from your vital T supply. Now, before you swear off all things minty, let me be clear, an occasional mint is unlikely to cause hormonal havoc. We're talking about habitual high-volume consumption, multiple cups of mint tea, daily handfuls of gum or mint oil supplements. Picture John, a patient who swore by his morning peppermint tea ritual, followed by mint-flavored protein shakes and gum throughout the day. He noticed creeping fatigue, low motivation, and even some unexpected weight gain. After checking his diet, he admitted to 6 to 8 cups of mint tea per day. A simple adjustment, cutting back to 1 cup, led to a rebound in his energy and a measurable uptick in testosterone on follow-up labs. There's also the hidden mint factor in oral hygiene. Some mouthwashes and toothpastes contain high concentrations of mint essential oils. If you're rinsing and brushing with those morning and night, you could be adding to your daily mint load. Every swipe of that fresh-tasting gel is delivering menthol compounds that over time may tip the scales against testosterone. So why does this matter? Testosterone isn't just about muscle or libido. It influences bone density, mood, cognitive function, and metabolic health. When mint consumption quietly stacks up, you might chalk up your sluggish workouts or irritability to just getting older, when in reality it's a dietary culprit you never suspected. Think of your hormonal system like a finely tuned accelerator pedal. Too much mint oil is like sticking gum under that pedal. It's not obvious at first, but eventually your foot can't press down all the way. The result is lost speed, lost power, and a nagging sense that something's off under the hood. By recognizing mint's potential for overreach, you gain control. You can still enjoy that fresh burst, just keep it in check. And if you notice subtle shifts in your energy or mood, consider the hidden mint in your routine as a possible piece of the puzzle. Up next, we'll reveal the surprise underdog offender, one food that health devotees swear by, but that might be quietly chipping away at your testosterone. You won't see it coming. Stay tuned. Twist, the surprising underdog. All right, gentlemen, prepare for a plot twist you didn't see coming. One of the biggest testosterone thieves isn't on your list of bad boys. It's an unsuspecting staple in countless pantries: gluten, and in some cases our beloved nightshades like tomatoes and peppers. Now, before you start hoarding bread-free snacks, let me explain. Gluten sensitivity and subclinical inflammation can quietly wreak havoc on your hormonal balance. When your gut lining gets irritated, whether by gluten, lectins in nightshades, or both, it triggers a low-grade inflammatory response. Chronic inflammation is like a rogue drill sergeant constantly shouting orders to your adrenal glands to crank out cortisol. And as we've seen, cortisol and testosterone don't play well together. When cortisol's the boss, testosterone is the bench warmer. When he cut back on gluten-heavy meals and swapped out nightshade-heavy sauces for alternatives like pesto and coconut aminos-based dressings, his inflammation markers dropped and his testosterone rebounded. Nightshades contain lectins that in sensitive individuals can increase intestinal permeability, a fancy term for leaky gut. A leaky gut lets bacterial byproducts slip into the bloodstream, fanning the flames of inflammation. As those flames flare, cortisol surges and testosterone production takes a back seat. It's a subtle chain reaction: a bowl of pasta one night, low-grade inflammation the next morning, and a hormonal dip over the following weeks. You don't have to swear off bread or pass up every pepper dish forever. Instead, listen to your body. If you notice that post-pasta slump or a tighter waistband after pizza night, consider an elimination test. Remove gluten and nightshades for a couple of weeks, then reintroduce them one at a time. Track how you feel, energy levels, mood, gym performance. And if you spot a pattern, you found a hidden hormone hacker. Remember, real food is rarely the enemy. It's our individual reactions and the quantity that matter. By tuning into the signals your gut sends, you can outsmart this underdog offender and keep your testosterone cruising where it belongs. Up next, we'll shift gears and talk about how to reclaim your hormonal horsepower with a simple natural boost, no prescription required. Stay tuned for the Nitric Boost secret weapon. Boost it back with Nitric Boost. Now that we've shined a light on the 6 dietary villains robbing your testosterone, it's time to call in the reinforcements. Meet Nitric Boost, the natural sidekick your body's been waiting for. Imagine your bloodstream as a highway. Over time, with age and dietary missteps, traffic slows, hormone signals, stall, nutrients trickle instead of flow, and performance grinds to a crawl. Nitric Boost works like an expert traffic controller, widening those lanes and clearing out the bottlenecks so your hormonal messenger cars can zip through unimpeded. Here's how it works. Nitric Boost's star ingredient L-arginine converts into nitric oxide in your body. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells blood vessels to relax and expand, boosting circulation from head to toe. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients delivered to your hormone factories, the testes, and more efficient removal of metabolic waste that can gum up production. It's like giving your endocrine system a VIP escort and a fast lane pass. But Nitric Boost doesn't stop there. It includes pinches of beetroot extract rich in nitrates that supercharge nitric oxide synthesis, and pomegranate loaded with antioxidants that protect your Leydig cells. The testosterone powerhouses from oxidative stress. Together, these ingredients create a synergistic effect: improved blood flow, reduced inflammation, and enhanced cellular energy. Picture Tom, a 57-year-old who'd cut out all the hormone killer foods, yet still felt stuck at half power. He added Nitric Boost to his morning routine, just 1 scoop in water or a protein shake. Within weeks, he noticed crisper workouts, faster recovery, and an afternoon energy surge that felt like he'd turned back the clock. His lab results confirmed it: a 12% uptick in free testosterone and a 20% improvement in the testosterone to cortisol ratio. Best of all, using Nitric Boost is a snap. It dissolves clear mixes seamlessly into your favorite morning beverage and carries a subtly sweet berry finish, no chalky aftertaste or complicated prep. Just 1 serving a day alongside a balanced meal, and you're giving your hormones the green light. So if you're ready to push back against the slump, accelerate your gains, and reclaim the drive you thought was gone, make Nitric Boost your daily hack. It's the simplest, most effective way to reinforce your dietary changes and keep your testosterone cruising in the fast lane. Stick around for our final recap, where we'll tie everything together into your personalized plan. No nonsense, no fuss, all power. Let's get your engine roaring again. Conclusion. All right, let's pull it all together. We've uncovered 6 common dietary saboteurs: processed soy trans fats, sugar-laden drinks, excessive alcohol, flaxseed, overkill and mint madness, plus the sneaky underdog inflammation from gluten and nightshades. Each one quietly chips away at your testosterone, but now you know exactly what to watch for. Your new blueprint is simple: stay informed and stay intentional. Think of your diet as a custom-tailored suit. Every choice should fit your unique body, support your hormones, and enhance your vitality. When you spot a potential villain on the ingredient label, you'll recognize it instantly and make a different selection. Remember Mark's soy shakes and Jim's fried feasts, Rob's smoothie overload, Carl's wine ritual, Sam's flax frenzy, John's mint marathon, and Mike's pasta habit. These stories highlight that even healthy routines can backfire when taken to extremes or when individual sensitivities aren't considered. Awareness is your best defense. As you move forward, consider this a living plan that evolves with you. One week, you might swap out that soy latte for a moderate fermented option. The next, you might consciously limit your sugar drinks to 1 per week. Another week, you might skip the extra flax sprinkle and swap in chia or hemp. Flexibility ensures sustainability. Tune into your body's signals, energy levels, workout, performance, mood stability, sleep quality, and yes, intimate confidence. These are real-time metrics of how well your hormonal engine is running. If you notice a dip, revisit your recent meals and snacks. Chances are an unassuming culprit resurfaced. And while dietary vigilance sets the stage, remember that true hormone health is multifaceted. Sleep, stress management, movement, and balanced nutrition all play synergistic roles. When you align these pillars, your testosterone thrives, and so do you. In the end, the power lies with you. With every bite, you're casting a vote for vitality or vulnerability. Now that you're armed with knowledge, you can steer your diet toward foods that fortify, not fragment, your hormonal harmony. Stay proactive, stay curious, and keep measuring your progress. Because when you master the art of nutrition tailored to your body, you don't just slow the decline. You reignite the performance drive and confidence you thought were fading. That's your customized plan for reclaiming testosterone after 50. Let's keep this momentum going and dive into a quick bonus recap with 3 lightning-fast swaps to supercharge your gains. Just ahead in our bonus section. Bonus, 3 quick testosterone-friendly swaps. Now for 3 simple swaps you can implement today to give your testosterone a turbo boost without overhauling your entire pantry. First swap, ditch the soy milk protein shakes and switch to a moderate serving of Greek yogurt or a whey isolate blend. You'll still get your post-workout protein hit, but without the phytoestrogen overload that can gate-crash your hormone party. Second swap, swap 1 sugary soda each day for sparkling water infused with a splash of fresh lemon or lime. You'll break the insulin-cortisol cycle and keep your blood sugar and your testosterone on an even keel. Third swap, replace one of your daily mint teas or spearmint gums with a cup of ginger tea or a cinnamon stick steep. You'll still enjoy a warm, comforting beverage, but avoid the menthol compounds that quietly throttle testosterone production. Implementing these 3 small changes can compound over weeks into noticeable energy drive and performance gains. Give them a try, track how you feel, and watch your hormonal horsepower climb back to peak levels.